Hey, yo, 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 what is good, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Yo and Nerd Podcast. This is episode 7, and I'm Malcolm McFadden, creator of 615 Comics and Yo and Nerd, and I'd like to thank y'all for watching. So before I even forget to do this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please like the video, comment on the video, argue with me, and anything you disagree on, or if you agree with me, let me know. And also subscribe to the channel so we can continue arguing and talking, having these conversations. You feel me? So please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. All right. And like I always say, I got a dope show for y'all. And today is more of a update. It's more of like a news show. All right. This is more of like letting y'all know things that are going on and things that have happened, because a good little bit has happened that we're going to talk about. All right. And we're going to start with Kevin Feige. I think that's how you say his name. He's like the man behind the MCU and all that. All right, Kevin Feige. He just recently did an interview and was talking about the future of the MCU. And he said a lot. Like, I got my notes. I got my notes right over here. I got my notes for things he was saying. All right, and I'm going to just dig into them. So, one of the things he was saying was that Secret Wars movie will be like a reboot to the MCU. It'll start over one new timeline. Like, they're even saying that, you know, Tony Stark is gonna come back, but he's gonna be recasted. Even Captain America's come back and he's gonna be recasted. Hopefully T'Challa will come back and be recasted. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, Secret Wars is supposed to start like this full reboot of Marvel. We're starting this whole new timeline where everything is on the same timeline, and then that's how we're gonna get X-Men and get Fantastic Four and Avengers and get everybody in this one world, which, man, that could be great. That could be fire. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But yeah, it's basically gonna reboot and bring everything into one timeline. And then also with that, they were talking about X-Men, about how X-Men were like always like normally like young and up and coming and like, you know, growing into themselves while also being mutants. And that's one thing he said he was going to do for it. So I think when we get to the X-Men, I think we're going to see a lot of younger X-Men. I think we'll see like Cyclops and Jean, like more like teenagers and stuff. I think kind of like the X-Men Evolution cartoon, which I love to see. I think we're going to get some more of that. And even Days of Future Past X-Men. I think we're really going to get like a younger X-Men that kind of grows into who they are and becoming who they are with like older leadership. You feel me? Which I think that could be dope. But yeah, but we're basically saying we're rebooting the MCU to something totally new where all these storylines are coming together. And for me, that makes sense to why a lot of things that Marvel has been doing don't seem like they're connected, don't seem like they are together. You feel me? Or like it seems like they're throwing stuff at a wall because they're going to reboot. And I think it's gonna be hard to show connections when you're just gonna reboot things and you may not even know what's getting rebooted, what's getting changed yet. So I think that's why we haven't seen as much connectivity as we saw in the earlier phases of the MCU. I think that's why it just seems like they're just projects out there. You get what I'm saying? But while he also talked about this, he also talked about the fact that there won't be a live action Miles for a good little bit. They said, I think until after, what it said is Sony has told Marvel that they cannot use Miles in live action until after the Beyond the Spider-Verse movie, right? They said you can't do that until after Beyond the Spider-Verse movie, which I believe that means after like 2032, like 7 odd years or something like that. We're not going to see Miles in the live action. But I am actually good with that. I am actually very good with that because it gives Tom Holland Spider-Man a time to grow to where he can die, if you get what I'm saying. So like Miles, in the story of Miles, the real Spider-Man ends up actually dying in his universe, and that's where he becomes Spider-Man. Like he gets bit by the spider and all that. He becomes the next Spider-Man. I think this gives time for Tom Holland Spider-Man to grow, be a dope Spider-Man, have like 4 or 5 movies, and then die. And then die and have it be worth it and have it be a good death to the point where now we introduce Miles. You feel me? And all that be fire. So I think in like 7 years we can get something like that, which that would be fire, and I think that would be dope. So that's something they could build towards. And also Sony is real crazy, bro. Sony like, no, bro, you not stepping on our Miles money, bro. Sony, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. Sony, people mad at Sony, but they've been funny throughout this whole Marvel with the rights and everything. Sony, like, we gonna do what we want to do. We gonna get a little bit of this bag. I love it. I love Sony. It makes me kind of mad, but Sony, I like what they're doing, and what they're doing could actually help the story of Miles in the cinematic universe, which is dope to me. What else did he say? I got more here. Also, this man here, Kevin Feige, this man, he said that they were already planning on moving away from Kang before, the Jonathan Major situation and all that. And one of the quotes he said that they didn't think Kang was Thanos. Well, neither did we, because that's how you presented him to us. You presented Kang could have been the next level threat. He was phasing up to be that until you put that man in Ant-Man. You had that man being soloed by Ant-Man. Ant-Man beat him himself. Yeah, he had him with the other ants and stuff, but we had not even Hank Pym, Ant-Man beat Kang. You told us in the movie that this Kang was the Kang that all other Kangs were scared of. They sent him down there because they were scared of him. They feared him, right? All the other Kangs feared him. Then you had that badass Kang that you developed, just with that sentence you developed into a badass. You had him lose to Ant-Man, not even the whole Avengers. Of course he wasn't Thanos, because we saw him lose to Ant-Man. We saw Thanos punish the Hulk. We saw Thanos menacing for years, and then saw him punish the Hulk when he came out. You had Kang lose to Ant-Man and thought that was way to introduce this villain that's supposed to be on Thanos level. Y'all cut that man's legs before he could even walk. Oh my God, my God, my God. That made me so mad, because Jonathan Majors is a phenomenal actor. To see him go up and take on the Avengers and beat them, and Kang is a great character for him to take on, and then y'all just gave us that? But hey, keep it on moving. That was some of the news I want to talk about. Them talking about what the new MCU and moving forward, which I'm actually excited about to see what they do after Secret Wars, since this revamping, and see what they do with the new MCU. And I can't wait to see that. I'm hoping the new MCU won't be as jokey. They will go with new formulas, not using the same formula over and over again for their movies. I hope we get something better than the MCU with this reboot. But tell me what y'all think about it. How y'all feeling about this reboot? How y'all feeling about Kevin Feige, what he said? Are y'all as mad as me about the Kang thing? How y'all feeling? What y'all think about this? Okay, since we're talking about the Kevin Feige, I mentioned maybe them recasting T'Challa, and this is something I really want to talk about. Of course, I want them to cast T'Challa, and maybe this could be a way to them to do it, definitely, and it makes sense, and start a whole new timeline where we actually get T'Challa, who is not just a variant, but the main timeline T'Challa. Like, that could be dope. But I want to talk about recast T'Challa and how it has become a gender war. How? Man, us black people really can't be on the same page about nothing, bro. Like, we will turn anything into something that it's not. Like turning recast T'Challa into a gender war. So I saw this post that was basically like, what is y'all real beef with it not being T'Challa? It's only about Shuri being the Black Panther. It was basically people saying, like, you're only mad because a woman is Black Panther. I did this on TikTok. Actually, it's on TikTok right now. I'm getting mad comments and people engaging with it. But I'm going to do this here. I'm going to explain to y'all why we want T'Challa back, and it not have nothing to do with Shuri being a woman, and actually have nothing to do with Shuri at all. Anybody could have replaced T'Challa, and we would have been mad if his name was not T'Challa. Y'all trying to replace him with his son that y'all named after him, and we're not even going for that. So that should show you it's not sexist or misogynistic, all right? Black Panther fans want T'Challa back because he is the main character of Black Panther. Always has been. He is the main character of Black Panther. So when y'all say y'all are mad at that and y'all call it sexist and misogynistic, let me pose this question to you. How are you mad at people for wanting the main character of a series, of a story, of a book to be the main character of the movie that is based after that book comics, after that media. How are y'all mad at that? Y'all wouldn't be mad. Y'all wouldn't say it was sexist if Superman, if they made a Superman movie, his second movie of all time, they killed him by a random bullet, not kryptonite, a random bullet. Just a random bullet killed Superman. They killed him off screen. At the start of the movie, they have a funeral for him. And then he is replaced later in the movie, basically at the end of the movie, by Lois Lane. And people were outraged by that. Would y'all call them sexist? Or y'all just say they're passionate Superman fans that want Superman? I know what y'all would say. We all would collectively riot. We all would be mad and say, this is garbage. How could you do this to Superman? We all would say that. But for some reason, we turn T'Challa into a race war. I mean, a gender war. And I'm not saying there aren't people that are sexist and misogynistic. They are. But y'all missed the whole point of people wanting T'Challa back. 80 to 90% of Black Panther comics, T'Challa is the main character. T'Challa is the focus point of those comics. 80 to 90%. If you pick up a random comic, a Black Panther comic today, he will be the main character, more than likely. All right, like y'all kept using the mantle thing as why it could be someone other than T'Challa, but that wasn't created till later in the comic. And even with the mantle thing, he's all the storylines, all the lore, everything is centered around T'Challa. When all the interactions with other heroes, that is T'Challa interacting with those characters. Where he's the one that's part of the Illuminati. He's the one that's one of the smartest people in the universe with those other people like Reed Richards, Iron Man. He's the one that was in those stories. He was the one that was a genius. He was the one that could fight. We saw all these attributes and all these feats that T'Challa did himself. T'Challa. And then now people are not able to see him do those feats in live action because they killed him off and then replaced him. No matter who you replace him with, you're replacing this character. It's very much like no matter who puts on the cape and cowl, Bruce Wayne is the Batman. He is the Batman. All the feats, all the storylines, the interactions, everything is Batman. So people have replaced Batman all the time. Gordon played Batman, put on the cape as Batman. But he was not the Batman. He was a Batman, but he was not the Batman. And then when you talk about these mantles with the Black Panther, find me the storylines about those. They had the 10,000 BC Black Panther. I remember that. Had a little storyline. That didn't even last long. That was part of a whole Avengers storyline. That wasn't even just his story. So, like, when you talk about Black Panther, the Black Panther that you follow, the Black Panther that you see is T'Challa. How are y'all mad that people want the franchise to have its main character? If you went to Harry Potter and the movie was about Ron Weasley or Hermione, and who are two dope characters who would probably have movies about them, you would be mad. The movie is named Harry Potter, and I know the movie is named Black Panther, not T'Challa, but when you think of the Black Panther, you think of T'Challa. You don't think of his father. You don't think of his fathers. You think of T'Challa as the Black Panther. And I really don't understand how y'all don't get that. I don't understand how this became a gender war. Like, we don't have this energy we don't keep that energy for other people. Like Spider-Man, perfect example. I have a lot of perfect examples, but Spider-Man, perfect example of Spider-Man. Us collectively, hit the mic. Us collectively shit on Sony for making Spider-Man movies without Spider-Man. And these movies aren't even, some of them are bad, some of them are not. Like Craven, make Craven an early 2000s movie, take the name Craven off it, put like Animal Man and make it if it came out early 2000s, like The Mummy and all those, we'd be like, okay, this is in the realm of just a good action movie. You feel me? Craven wasn't bad, but we shadowed it because you didn't give us Spider-Man in the movie. We didn't see Spider-Man up against Craven. We didn't see Spider-Man up against Morbius. Like, even Venom has his own comic book series without Spider-Man. We were still mad that he wasn't in Venom. Why are we not keeping that same energy for T'Challa? Why are we not keeping that same energy? Like, if they did that to Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, all of us will collectively ride and be mad. But for some reason, you wanting T'Challa to be recast, which is what Chadwick Boseman also would have wanted and his family wants. You get called sexist, misogynistic, and that's crazy because Shuri's a dope character. A lot of us love Shuri. A lot of us love Shuri, but we don't want you to take away from the main character to hype up this character who is also still dope. But you taking the main character of the story. You taking the main character, taking the man who did all these feats out of the story. And now you're just giving us somebody else who did not have these feats, and you're not going to give these feats to. It's that simple. I really don't understand how it became a gender war. But thank y'all for listening to my rant. And the last thing I'm going to say to this, bro, save that gender war stuff for the Tyler Perry movies. Go watch a Madea movie and have these gender war conversations, bro. This is comic books. We talking comics. We talking characters. We talking feats. That's what we talking about. We talking about pages and panels. Okay? That's what we talking about. We save that gender war stuff over there. Over there. This is the nerd section. Save that for that lunch table over there. This is our section. We talking about feats. We talking not feet like your feet, but if you're not a comic fan, feats are like your accomplishments, things you've done, you feel me, stuff like that. Just for you non-comic fans, for you Madea fans, if you're watching. Like no even shade to Tyler Perry, but save that for over there. Save the gender wars for over there, bro. We talking about characters and feats over here. But yeah, I don't see how we can't all be on the same page. I don't see how Black Panther became a gender war when we should be on the same side. They would not do this to no other white hero. Ever. They recasted General Ross, just so you know. They recasted General Ross and didn't even need him in the new Captain America. They could have had another villain, another character, but they still recasted General Ross and didn't even need to. The show Spartacus recasted the main character after the actor got cancer and died. They recasted him and continued the show. That's another example. But hey, that's all my talk. I went too long for my timer already. But tell me what y'all think about this recast T'Challa and it becoming a gender war, because I think it's completely dumb. But continuing on this MCU Kevin Feige announcement and stuff, these guys, bro, they really don't know what to do with Blade. Kevin Feige said they had 4 different scripts for Blade, and they finally came down to one which is set in the modern times. Kevin Feige said he did not want, this is what he said, he did not want to just put Blade in a leather suit and have him killing vampires. That's what the story is. Like, why are y'all trying to reinvent the wheel? Don't get me wrong, I do like that. I seen other people saying, like, why are y'all mad at them trying to, like, really make it more than just a vampire movie? Like, we got Sinners that was way more than just a vampire movie. I get that. But this is Blade. Like, just keep the essentials. Him in a leather suit killing vampires. You can add more to that. You can do more with that, bro. They add stuff in the comics. Like, we had 2 movies of it. Like, they added more. Like, it wasn't just Blade. It was a man dealing with, like, his thirst. It was a man dealing with having to be half vampire, half human, and having to deal with, if he crossed that line, he could fully go vampire, and then he could never come back again. Like, having to take the serum to suppress his vampire urges. Like, that was in those movies. They had parts in that. Like, but he was still in leather killing vampires. That's what we want. It's Blade. Give the people what they want. Give the people what they want. Like, I don't see how y'all have this issue. Like, there's comics, there's movies already. The man has a fan base. There was a whole TV show with the rapper Sticky Fingers. They have it, bro. Like, why are y'all trying to go away from what this character is and just give us that? It's Blade. Give us Blade in leather killing vampires. Just add a little bit more to the story. Like, what? Like, I've seen a lot of people that say, bro, they was probably adding all this extra stuff in it. I heard things where he wasn't even going to be the main character. It was more so going to be his daughter was the main character. Like, I heard all this stuff is like, bro, like, just make Blade. Just make Blade. Why is this hard? But I'm not going to rant too much about that because there's not much to rant about that. Just make Blade. Put him in leather, have him kill him. And then you got an amazing actor. Marshall Ali. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering his name, but that guy is an amazing actor. Just put him in some leather, have him killing vampires, and give him some good lines. Come on, bro. Tell me what y'all think. Okay, so let's kind of go off the MCU. Let's come to like DC news. All right. So Alan Ritchson, he actually played Hawk in the Titans show, and he's been in a whole bunch of other stuff, but he played Hawk in the Titans HBO Max show. He said that he wants to be Batman. And I haven't seen him in much. I've seen one thing I saw him in the most was Blue Mountain State. Now, if you haven't watched that, it's for a certain audience. But Blue Mountain State is still hilarious. But he was in that, and from that, I can't really see him being Batman, even as Hawk in Titans. I can't see him as being Batman, but I'm to the point where I'm not going to judge somebody being Batman until I see them as Batman, because I thought Ben Affleck was going to be terrible. And then that made me, but he was great, probably the best live action Batman to me, easily. But then with him, and I heard Twilight, Little Sparkles, was going to be the new Batman. And I was like, Twilight? But then I thought, I was like, but Ben Affleck did a good job, and I didn't think he would. And then Twilight did a good job as Batman in the Batman. He did a phenomenal job, which I can't wait for Batman 2. But, so I myself I gotta wait to see you as Batman before I judge, because, yeah, I've been wrong going into it. You feel me? So I think he could be a live action Batman. He'll be better than the HBO Max live action Batman. But yeah, I think he might be able to be a good Batman. I think he definitely has the build for being a Batman. But yeah, and he has kind of like he also can play that Playboy style like Bruce Wayne. It's just the Batman side of it. And I also want to see what he looks like in the Cape and Cowl. But yeah, he's interested in playing Batman. So I want to see if that goes. Will he be the DCU Batman? They're looking for one. Could be him. So tell me what y'all think. Y'all think Alan Ritchson would be a great Batman? Tell me what y'all think. Okay, to stay on the DC side. So I like my algorithms and stuff and things on my phone. So on my phone, I have this thing where I can basically just swipe left and it gives me like a whole bunch of news, basketball, comic books, just all the things that I'm interested in, actually, which is kind of weird that the robot is studying me. But it gives me all this stuff, and it really been giving me a lot. It actually gives me material for these podcasts. And one of the things I just saw that made me angry is that comicbook.com just did their ranking of the top Green Lanterns. All right. Now, number one was Hal Jordan. Not mad at that. He is the Green Lantern everybody knew and loved and grew up with. Not mad at that. He has a lot of feats as the Green Lantern. Not mad at that. Number two, Kyle Rayner. Also not mad at that, because he has a lot of feats and he's actually one of the fan favorites, him being an artist and making his constructions. People say he makes the best constructions. Not mad at that. Here's where I have a problem. And I think y'all already know where I'm going with this, because you know who should be the next one said if those are the number 1 and 2. All right. Number 3 is Jessica. I can't even remember her last name. All right. Jessica. From New 52. She was created in the New 52, but she is over John Stewart. Mind you, he right now is leading the Green Lanterns. Mind you, this man don't even need a ring no more. Mind you, that this man basically brought his little brought his little sister back to life for his mom out of just willpower. He literally made a construction come to life. Jon Stewart. 4th on the list after Jessica, who, as I remember, when she first got the ring, she was basically like a villain. She wasn't even I could be messing this up, but when she first got the ring, she wasn't like stepping into just being a Green Lantern. There was a whole storyline with it. There was a whole different storyline with it that I'm losing right now. But there's no way, shape, or form where she should be number 3 on the list. She didn't even come. She came way after him. Bro, it's just a disrespect sometimes. It's just a disrespect. Like Jon Stewart, I can make a case for him being 1 or number 2. Has to be number 3. You can't put John past number 3 in the Green Lanterns. I don't see how you can do that, especially with the comics now. The man basically became like a god, basically, with the powers of the Green Lantern. Like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? He literally is leading the whole Green Lantern Corps right now. Led them through all of Rebirth. And we're saying that he's number 4? That just ain't right. That just ain't right. That just ain't right, man. Comicbook.com, I love the site. But some of the things on that site are completely dumb. Like, how is he number 4? How do you lead the Green Lantern and you're number 4? 4. That's wild. He's either 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. He has to be. Like, depending on your favorites and all that, but I feel like John Stewart has to be 1, 2, or 3 with the Green Lanterns. Definitely not after Jessica. Tell me what y'all think. I know y'all feel like y'all have to agree. There's no way. So, DC Comics just released their October solicitation. All right. So, we're going to go through that because there's actually some exciting things I want to talk about coming up. And last time I talked about it, I kind of said DC was kind of just Batman, his little friends. It's kind of still that way. But there's a couple things to talk about within the solicitation that are dope. The first one being, I actually got a computer right here so I don't mess up nothing. The first one being is DCKO. All right, now this is what this says. This is what it says. Headlining it all is DCKO. A brutal, universe-shaking battle royal where heroes must literally fight their way to Darkseid. Okay, now if you don't know, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on in DC Universe where basically like Darkseid created the whole absolute universe and like they think he's dead, but he's not really dead. And like, so I guess there's a whole bunch going on leading up to this, and this will come out in October where they basically have to fight their way to Doomsday, which that looks like it's going to be crazy. Like just even going through some of this real here, like that it just the covers, it looks crazy. It's gonna be an amazing showdown that I hope is not one of them DC events that just fall short. Like the last one, what was it? The Infinite Crisis, not Infinite Crisis, whatever the last one was coming, where it's basically like the death of the Justice League, and it was kind of to show like the legacy characters rising. Yeah, that went nowhere, and the legacy characters are still missing. That went nowhere. So hopefully this is an event that actually goes somewhere. All right, and I'm actually looking forward to that. Next I have up on here would be Justice League Unlimited. Ooh, baby. So in Justice League Unlimited, bruh, this story is basically in Justice League Unlimited 12. Mr. Terrific is basically gonna make a whole new team. And let me read it here so y'all can see it, so I'm not just saying nothing crazy. Michael Holt, Mr. Terrific, must put together an elite Justice League squad of the most powerful time-displaced heroes from We Are Yesterday. That's a DC storyline that's going on that I'm actually really not following. But to unveil the mystery, and this mission is a one-way ticket. Get ready for a mission to hell and back in this epic tie-in to the DCKO event. All right, so basically the team that so far what I'm seeing, the team that Mr. Terrific has, it looks like Aquaman with the hook arm, so I'm guessing that's like Justice League Unlimited Aquaman. Also Superman with the blue energy, Batman Beyond, and it looks like future Beast Boy are all in Mr. Terrific's team. And I think this is dope. I think Mr. Terrific just leading people is dope. I think this is dope for him in Justice League Unlimited. Because if you remember Justice League Unlimited, the cartoon, it was very much, it didn't just follow like Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. It followed some of the other side characters on their missions. And I think this is kind of going to be something like that, which this is dope. I really like this. But to talk about this too, I also saw somebody say that like this would have been a great chance for them to use some of the legacy characters, like instead of blue energy Superman, use his son, and instead of Batman to use people like Jace Fox or Signal. But I feel like that person that said that was a great point to give the legacy characters some shine, but I think what that person was missing, that these are time-displaced characters, like using these different characters that have been displaced through time. So that's why like Batman Beyond makes sense, if you get what I mean. Still a great point, but I think that doesn't really matter with this, if you get what I'm saying. But this is also dope. It's another it's gonna be Mr. Terrific led, and if you read the Terrifics, you know that he's led teams before. So this is actually gonna be something really dope, and I can't wait for that. More Mr. Terrific content across the board. But we're gonna go on to the next one, which is Superman 31. So basically, Superman is making a trip to Apocalypse. Actually, let me not freestyle and just tell you what they say. Superman and his allies have been thrown into a dangerous game to capture the heart of Apocalypse at the center of Earth. But what is the heart of Apocalypse, and how are its origins tied to Krypton? And why does Darkseid's Legion want Superman to find out? Now, this actually seems dope. This is actually written by Joshua Williamson, who's actually a very dope writer. I think some of his best work that I like was when he did a Flash run. But he's actually a very dope writer. I can't wait to see what this is about. But having Darkseid and his Legion is dope. The heart of Apocalypse and how this is tied to Krypton. Man, I want to know what that's about. And that's going to be in Superman 31, released in October. So we'll wait to see for that. I need some water. But the next one I want to talk about is Absolute Evil. So, if you read the Absolute Universe, I'm going to freestyle this one because I want to. Absolute Universe, you know, you got Batman, Superman, there's Wonder Woman, there's Martian Manhunter, I believe Flash. Like, they have this whole Absolute Universe where these characters aren't their, like, normal selves. They're missing parts of their selves. But they're bringing in Absolute Evil, which is basically the villains of the story, which they've been kind of hinting at in each of the stories, kind of putting Easter eggs of villains. But the villains they have here are Ra's al Ghul, Victoria Cal, Eleanor Thawne, Hector Hammond, and the Mysterious Joker. All right, so those are the villains they have in this book. So I really want to see how the villains are different in this universe, and since the heroes are different. So I can't wait for Absolute Evil, and I believe this is just a one shot. But next up, we have Batman #2. Now, you know, Batman's revamping, and there wasn't really much I wanted to talk about this one besides the fact that, you know, Tim Drake will be the Robin of this series. So it's a Batman and Robin. So it kind of be like Batman and Robin, and where Tim Drake is the Robin, and they're bringing in, you know, that he will be with Batman. You feel me? So that's kind of just a tidbit I wanted to say, that Tim Drake will be the main Robin in this new Batman arc. So that's kind of just something I wanted to bring up and let y'all know about, because I know there's a lot of Tim Drake fans. For me, we can do away with Tim Drake, but I know there's a lot of Tim Drake fans, so that's for y'all. Continue on to Batman His Little Friends, but no, this one is not Batman His Little Friends. This is Batman and him. This is Batman and him. So in Detective Comics 1102, all right, 1102, we will have a Batman and Mr. Terrific team up. Two of the smartest men in the DC universe, with Mr. Terrific being the smartest one, will team up to you know, go up against a threat. I'm trying to find it now so I can give you all exactly what the issue is going to be about, which is funny that I'm talking about Batman His Little Friends, and right now I'm bypassing a bunch of Batman side comics like Poison Ivy and Batgirl to try to get to Detective Comics. But nonetheless, it will be Batman and Mr. Terrific teaming up in Detective Comics, which I think is dope. Detective Comics is, you know, sometimes it's kind of more of the grounded Batman stories where it's not like really connected to the other universe. Sometimes it's more so just Batman, but he handles like detective work because it's called Detective Comics. I think this is dope for Mr. Terrific to be in the Detective Comics instead of a main Batman comic. It just makes more sense for him to, you know, like them to try to figure out a mystery together, since both of them are geniuses. But Batman Detective Comics 1102 will have a team up with Mr. Terrific. And the last thing I really got for y'all is Justice League Red. They're making a Justice League Red, which the only thing I really want to talk about with that is the fact that they're bringing Red Canary back. Like, Red Canary was a character when they did like the Death of the Justice League run, that she was supposed to be like kind of like the new Black Canary, but the Red Canary. And I thought she was a pretty cool character, but this seems like now they're giving her a place to go. You feel me? Now they're giving her some attention. It's going to be in October, but they'll give her some attention. Actually, it'll be Justice League Red #3 in October. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So in August, we may get Justice League Red #1, which hopefully we see her in that. So Ray Canary finally gets some shine after they tried to say they were going to get more shine on legacy characters and just didn't. So they are giving her more shine. So that's dope to see. But that is everything I want to talk about from the October solicitation. There still was a lot of, Batman stories, but there's a lot of dope things that are coming out in the fall. You feel me? So be on the lookout for all of that. And tell me what you think, what you looking forward to, what you not looking forward to. Tell me what y'all think about that. Okay, so I'm gonna end this podcast, in this episode 7, off on just the idea. This is not comic books. We're gonna go to wrestling. This is just a random idea, something that I thought about. Jade Cargill, big fan, big fan, big fan. Hot take. I don't want her to win the title at SummerSlam. I don't want her to win it all. I want Tiffany to beat her. Don't care how it happens. I want Jade to lose. But hear me out, though. Hear me out. And yes, I am a Tiffany and Jade fan. I think this storyline would make it better for the both of them. All right. #1 for Tiffy. Have her beat Jade so we can continue having a good run with Tiffy. WWE right now is very weird with their title reigns. Right now is very weird. But I think we should give Tiffany a very solidified, say, okay, this was a great run for Tiffy. So before she loses. So her losing to Jade, I feel like this run hasn't been good enough for her to lose to Jade now at SummerSlam. All right. But this is more so about making Jade poppin'. This is more so about Jade. Have her lose at SummerSlam, right? Have her lose at SummerSlam, and then put her into that. Because now they're doing where if you lose, you gotta go to the back of the line. Have her go to the back of the line. Have her do a bunch of good feuds, one-on-one feuds, where she has a bunch of just good matches, just very good non-title matches. You feel me? Just have some great. Have her put on against different competition. Have her lose some, win some. Just different people. Have her build up her resume, right? Have her win the Royal Rumble. So this year she would have win the Queen of the Ring and the Royal Rumble. Then have her go on to WrestleMania to win the title. Now, if Tiffy's still champion, that's cool or whatever. But have her go on to win the title at the WrestleMania. But yeah, you definitely don't have her face Tiffany. Have her go win the Royal Rumble and go up against Naomi at WrestleMania. That way we can get a nice long run with Naomi as the women's heavyweight title, because I think this is going to be like her send-off. I think she's probably going to go out of wrestling soon because that's what she said. So have her have a nice long run and have these two black women who've been feuding for years, for like a year now, to now have that all come to head at WrestleMania for the women's world heavyweight title. Two black women, have it be a main event, have Jade, build up and have Naomi, with her, let her be the evil villain champion that she is, which is great, and then have them fight at WrestleMania and then have that build up and pay off. That would be fire. That's my idea, and that's how I'm ending off this pod. But thank y'all for watching. As I say, please like, comment, and subscribe, and tell your friends about me. Tell your friends about me. Dang, I don't think I added that in the last couple pods. I'm tripping. But tell your friends about me. Please like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends about me. It's been another dope episode, and please get in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. Engage with me. Talk to me. Fight with me. Let me know what's up. But thank y'all for watching. Yo, a nerd. It's been another dope episode. So peace.